Members of the White House and individuals in the Trump administration are going to extreme lengths to cover up certain meetings that they're having. They're not being very transparent about the meetings they take and the types of topics they discuss. But a recent lawsuit revealed that Scott Pruitt had been meeting with a coal executive who had raised over $1 million for Trump's campaign back in 2016. His name is Steven Chancellor, and he is the CEO of White Stallion Energy.
Wow.
Can't make that up. You can't.
So here's what we know so far. First of all, the Sierra Club really came through with ensuring that we had access to this information. Records obtained by the Sierra Club through a Freedom of Information lawsuit against the EPA show that Steven Chancellor, CEO of White Stallion Energy, met with Pruitt on May 22nd of 2017 for a courtesy call and introductory meeting, which is fascinating. I feel as though they might have already met, but okay. Now, Chancellor petitioned the EPA back in December of 2016, asking the agency to soften a rule designed to curb pollution that floats across state lines. The EPA has not yet responded to his petition or any of those regarding the update the agency confirmed. Now, keep in mind that Chancellor has been an avid supporter of Trump. He hosted a $10,000 per couple fundraiser with Trump, Mike Pence, and Rudy Giuliani back in August of 2016. And he said that he had raised north of $1 million. He later attended Trump's inauguration, where he was spotted shaking hands with Pence. In fact, we have that video for you just to show you what that scene was like. So these are all buddies. These are all people who very clearly want to deregulate the energy or the coal industry as much as possible. And it's something that the Trump administration and the EPA specifically seems willing to do.
He looks like he's from Vegas.
He does look like he's
going to do a magic trick, and this is the magic trick.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Bilk America out of its like environmental safety.
Right.
For money.
While your democracy's gone.
Yeah.
So another rule that we find out through this story is that conservatives must name things with either the word white or the word black in it. And his previous company was Black Beauty Coal.
Right, both Black Beauty, a black stallion,
That's right,
and he calls this a white stallion. So he likes children's
There's
books.
a theme.
Okay, well, that's one way of looking at it. Okay, so there's a couple of angles to this story. One is the secretive nature of the meetings. So if you were doing nothing wrong, there's no reason why you wouldn't tell people who you're meeting with, including business interests. So if I was running the EPA, and imagine that for a moment, would I meet with business people? No, I would shun them. No, of course I would. I'd meet with environmental groups. I'd meet with business groups. I'd meet with citizens, and I'd try to have a well-balanced policy that takes all that into account. And I wouldn't hide it because that'd be a normal thing to do. So why is Pruitt hiding it? It's not like we don't know that Pruitt is meeting with business interests. What he doesn't want you to know is the specific business interests he's meeting with that have given specific donations to Donald Trump and other Republicans, because it's embarrassing, because it shows you the actual game that's being played. So now this guy has given a lot before. He also had raised over $310,000 for George H.W. Bush, so going all the way back there. Raised more than $1 million for Mitt Romney, and the list goes on. Now, he doesn't raise money for those guys because he thinks coal is really good for your health, and these guys would be pro-health, and he just cares so much about America and charity that he's doing this. No, he comes in with a very, very specific request. My industries pollute the rivers and the waters and the air, and I would like that pollution to be able to float into your state. Okay, so I want to deregulate this specific thing so I can make more money. And I believe that the money that I spend on politicians is gonna get me a great return on investment. So I give you $1 million, you deregulate, thereby I don't have to do any of the safety stuff. That saves me millions upon millions of dollars. The reason that business interests give money to people like Scott Pruitt and Donald Trump is because they make more money by capturing the government. This is how our democracy dies.
Yes, I just have to say the Scott Pruitt, just his name, I mean, it basically becomes the Environmental Pollution Agency. It's EPA doesn't stand for protection, right? It doesn't. I mean, this is a person who sued the EPA himself repeatedly to make sure none of the exactly what you're talking about, Jen. So I just sort of feel like the fact that he's, in this position. I'm not surprised at any Vegas types that are, kind of coming in for the spoils because they're all available now.
In fact, it's funny you should mention that. One of the other folks that Pruitt is meeting with is investors connected with Republican megadonor Sheldon Adelson, who runs a lot of Vegas casinos, is a billionaire from
and puts a ton of money into the Republican pockets, and he also is the person that everyone who's running for office on a federal level and as a Republican wants to get in good favor with. Pruitt is supposed to be setting himself up to run for the Senate. I mean, this is all taking place in Indiana. He's from Oklahoma. James Inhofe is, ancient and probably will not run again in 2020. Maybe that's the seat he wants, but a Republican needs to raise $7 in Oklahoma to win a Senate race.
Yeah, but Adelson gives sometimes $25 million at a time because we just have an open auction right now for seats. So if you're in good with Adelson or even Steven Chancellor, who gives him, can raise $1 million at a time, winning a Senate seat in Oklahoma gets a lot easier. Although I do like what Michael's saying about Inhofe retiring. I mean, from your mouth to God's ears.
Well, Inhofe retiring to make way for Scott Pruitt.
Well, you never know. In Oklahoma, we've had a lot of Democrats with special elections.
That's true. I'm not arguing. I'm just saying that if Scott Pruitt is so well financed in Oklahoma, Republicans tend to do well there, better there than any state in the country.
So one other person that he met with that I found amusing is. He met with the group Family Research Council, led by Tony Perkins. Okay, wait, this is the EPA. So, I mean, maybe the education department, although I don't want him anywhere near the education department, but I don't, like the EPA, why are we meeting with the so-called family values guys who now, because they support Trump, hate family values? Okay, but wait, how does hating gay people have anything to do with environmental protection? And that goes to Michael's point. He's not actually running the EPA. He's running for Senate. He's trying to find all these different donors and allies for his own purposes.
And listen, I have to add something else to that very quickly. Scott Pruitt, it has been said now, there were rumors that he was going to become Attorney General should Jeff Sessions step down. It has now been widely reported that those rumors began with Scott Pruitt. So he's been floating his name as the heir to the Sessions Attorney General seat should Trump, as some are predicting, fire Jeff Sessions.
So apparently John Kelly had to call him and tell him, cool it, we got it, you're the one, you're in it for yourself, which given John Kelly's boss is a hilarious criticism of someone. Right?
He should know.
Yeah. And I like the euphemism they're using for these meetings with enormous donors. It was a courtesy call.
I know.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, if a dude gives you $1 million, you do owe him the courtesy of a call.
Very courteous.
And that's exactly what's wrong with this system. You just watched the video by the Young Turks, home of the revolution. If you'd like to get a lot more than that, get the full show by becoming a member. tytnetwork.com/join.